Okay, I hope that 1C practice went well for you and that you checked your answers before you start watching this video. If you didn't, go back and do that to make sure you got them right. So now we're going to do the exact same thing. The only difference is now it's going to be volume with fractions. So that means our side links are going to have some fractions in it. But you know how to do that already because we just did our fraction grid. So you know how to multiply and, if needed, divide fractions. So we're going to look at this first example. So your packet's out, ready to go on 1D. And looking at this example with me with your pencil, ready to go. So we are finding the volume of this rectangular prism. And if we look, we've got 5 1/3, 2/3, and 1 1/3. So we're going to use our length times width times height equation. And it's going to look something like this. Again, it doesn't matter which order you have them written in as long as you have them all, because we're all going to be multiplying them all together when we get to that point anyways. So because we have mixed numbers, we have to change them to improper fractions first. So let's go ahead and do that. So we take 3 times 1 and then plus 1 to get 4/3. Then we do the same thing for each one. 3 times 5 plus 1, 16/3, and 2/3 gets to just stay the same. So we could try and cross reduce if we wanted to, but on this one we actually can't. So we're not going to be able to utilize that skill this time. So we're just going to multiply straight across. So if I do 4 times 16, I happen to know off the top of my head that's 64. If you didn't know, you can always do it off to the side. And then 64 times 2 is 128. And then I do 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So I end up with 128 over 27. Again, if you need to do any work off to the side, feel free. So we know we can't leave that improper fraction the way it is, so we need to change it to a mixed number. So let me tell you how I got my final answer. So I tried to think, how many times does 27 fit into 128? And I kind of used my rounding skills to help, so I thought of 128 as 120. And I rounded 27 to 30, and I figured, well, 30 fits into 124 times, so let's try 4. So if we did 27 times 4 off to the side, and if you need to do that, feel free to do that right now, we got 108. And I knew that was going to be enough times, and I couldn't do it anymore, because if I try and add 27 to 108, I'm going to get more than 128. So 4 times is how many times it worked. And I also could just do this division off to the side. So it fit in 4 whole times. So then I took that 108 away from the 128, and I'm left with 20, and my denominator stays the same, 27. And when I try and simplify that anymore, I can't. Nothing else goes into 20 and 27. So 4 and 20/27 is my final answer, and I can't forget my units, centimeters cubed. So that's what I have to have for my final answer. Okay, so if anything didn't make sense to you, stop, go back, try it again. So rewind and pause the video as needed. What I'm going to have you do on this next one, if you notice it says you try it. So I'm going to have you go ahead and try it. So just pause the video right here. Try this one on your own. When you're ready and you think you have the answer, go ahead and unpause it, and I will walk you through the steps to do it. So go ahead and pause your video and try this one on your own. Alright, I hope you paused your video and tried this on your own first, because that's how you want to see if you actually understand it now. But I'm going to go through the answer real quick. So I've got 3 different measurements. I'm doing length times width times height. So 2 2/3, 3 1/2, and 6. So I have to change those to improper fractions first, and I get 8/3, 7/2, and 6/1. So I could cross reduce here if I wanted to. I could do the 2 and the 6 and make the 2 a 1 and the 6 a 3. I didn't do that on this time, but you could have, just so that you know. But I'm going to treat the numbers as is this time. And so I did 8 times 7 was 56. 56 times 6, I did off to the side, but I got 336. And then the bottom was pretty simple. 3 times 2 is 6, times 1 is 6 again. So I get 336 over 6, but I can't leave it like that. So I did some division off to the side and did 336 divided by 6, and I saw that it fit in 56 times exactly, no leftovers. And that kind of makes sense. If you would have cross-reduced ahead of time, what would have happened is I would have gotten 1 down here and 3 up here, and well, I guess your numbers would switch around a little bit, but it kind of makes sense because 8 times 7 is 56, and then times 6 was 336. So you kind of could use that knowledge from before to help you figure out, oh, it fits in 56 times exactly. If you didn't pick up on that, no big deal. You could just divide it off to the side, and you would have seen it fit in exactly 56 times. And oh, I just realized I gotta change my units. It's not centimeters, it's inches, but still cubed. So inches cubed. I hope you got that right. If not, feel free to go back, take a closer look. But otherwise, I believe you have a quick check to go grab and try to see if you can prove your knowledge on this. So good luck. Go get that. Bye.